Hey, I'm Harrison. I'm the program manager for On the Mic training, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about our school, about the history of our school, about our part time courses, about our diploma program, just to give you a general outline of what we do, how we approach voiceover, and a little bit about what makes us a little bit more of a unique institution in voiceover. So, On the Mic training was founded in 2007, which means we've now been around for 16 years. And we started with just individual courses, just one-on-one courses, very general, lots of different areas. Over time, we started to bring in more instructors, more types of courses, more specialties, until eventually it just became necessary to have our own school, and that's where we moved into our location in Gastown. We've been in our location in Gastown since 2016. And, we built our studio with the intention of having a space for students where it would feel like you were in a professional setting. We wanted people to kind of come out of our studio, go into the professional world, and be like, oh, it's just like being in class. There's nothing really intimidating about it. I've already done it dozens and dozens of times. And so our studio, which you can see behind me, is built to that purpose. And we're very proud of our space. It's a big reason why I think our students like taking classes with us, especially in person, because it really does feel like the real deal, like you're going into a real session when you're going into class. So our part-time courses, which is where most students start, are quite easy to digest. They're usually once a week for 4 weeks or in a weekend intensive format. And most students start with a course called Foundations of Voiceover. And Foundations of Voiceover is great because it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of animation, a little bit of commercials, a little bit of narration, a little bit about what it means to be a voiceover performer, breaking down scripts, making stronger acting choices, getting feedback. I think that's such a massive part of being a performer, especially in voiceovers, getting feedback and adjusting and figuring out how you can improve and take your reads in directions that you didn't anticipate. I would say the number one thing most people get out of those entry-level courses like Foundations is that you don't know what you don't know. And you can take your reads in so many directions that you never even anticipated. And so that's always a great experience for people, is to go in, explore, try things out. I've met so many people who didn't see themselves really being into something like commercials or narration. And then you talk to them afterwards and they're like, you know what? Was kind of my favorite thing about the class. And vice versa, people who couldn't see themselves doing characters and they come out with a real appreciation for the fact that their voice can really be changed up and they can do higher pitch characters and lower pitch characters. They can age up, age down. They can attempt accents. They can try all these things that, you wouldn't get to do in normal life. So Foundations is a great place to start. But from there, you'll find that part-time courses generally get a lot more specific. So if you are new to our curriculum and you go on our website, there is a resource called the Curriculum Tree. And the Curriculum Tree is like a map of all the courses that you can do in our part-time curriculum. And what you'll notice is it kind of splits. There's like a character side of things and there's a commercial side of things, commercial narration side of things, I should say. And it's not to say that you can't do both. But most people who are new somewhat go into one or the other and specialize and build skills. And you'll notice that there is a sense of progression. You go out of Foundations, you go to level 1, you build your skills, you build a creative process. You go to level 2, you discover more what makes you unique, what you can do that will stand out in the industry. And I often say level 2s are kind of designed to be repeated. I know lots of people who have done the level 2s 2 or 3 times and then go off and do a demo because it allows them to really dig in to the types of reads that are going to make them competitive in the industry and really dig into areas where, they don't quite have it in class 1, and it allows them to keep working and keep digging and discover kind of the gold that's going to be able to make them competitive. Because it's not sometimes not straightforward. Sometimes you got to explore a little bit and almost discover things again and again to really make them stand out. And then, of course, we do have more advanced courses as well that are more professionally targeted. Things like the level 3 courses, where you go into the studio with all your other actors and perform ensemble recordings and work with casting directors and working with voice directors and more experienced talent on things like audition craft. We really, with our part-time courses, even though they're short, we've tried to be very specialized and really be appreciative of your time and get you to a place where, even if you're coming from your day job, doing a couple classes every week, you can get to a place where you have a really good sense of yourself. Our part-time courses, the student to instructor ratio is also very good. It's 8-to-1. So 8 students, 1 instructor, plus an engineer when you're in studio or in a hybrid class, which means you get all your recordings. And I think that's such a great value-added thing, that you get to listen to everything you do. You get your feedback. You can go and go like, you know what, that read was, a little flat. Or, wow, when I changed from this to this, it totally changed my read. So that's a really great part of our curriculum in terms of part-time. So I'll talk briefly about the diploma program as well. So the diploma program is a much bigger commitment. And really what I would say is, if you have a seriousness about building a career in voiceover, the diploma program is where you want to be, because it's going to give you the full picture of the entire business. It's going to give you a sense of where you fit on the 6 major areas of voiceover: in video games, in animation, in dubbing, in commercials, in narration, in audiobooks. Those are your 6 major areas that are going to find work in voiceover. But also build an awareness of the other things that you need to be good at to be a great voiceover performer. Understanding your voice in Voice and Movement, and the power that comes from your voice when you connect it to your physicality. And just having good habits, things like good breath work, good stamina, things that you need to be successful. We teach improv in the diploma program, because it's such a valuable skill when you're working with auditions and when you're in sessions. Acting for voiceover. At the end of the day, voice acting is acting. We've got to teach that part of it. Accents and dialects, the mechanics of shapes in your mouth, and how do you vocalize accents, and how do you sound more neutral, how do you try things, and ultimately trying to teach a system that you can replicate later on as well with different resources. As well as probably the 2 of the most important courses, which is Business of Voiceover and MP3 auditioning, which is in effect what you do. That's the job of voiceover artists, is to audition, and audition well, and to know where the opportunities are. And in effect, those 2 courses really cover that and teach you how to go out and chase work in the industry. The other parts of the diploma program that are, amazing, is the fact that you get to participate in an agency showcase. So you do actually get to perform in front of agents in Vancouver or Toronto, and in some cases other cities that we have connections with, to get you that kind of leapfrog into the industry. And probably one of my favorite things about the program is the alumni network. As a person who coordinates, all the operations of the school, seeing the relationships that form between different cohorts of graduates. You got people who graduated back in, early 2020 with our first program, and people who graduated a couple months ago, and they know each other. You see them, taking pictures from workshops they've done together, workout groups, social events. I think that's one thing that, as a school, we're very proud of, is the fact that it's not just people coming to class and then disappearing. It is a sense of community amongst people, and getting to know each other, and ultimately supporting each other, years into their career. And, I like to think those relationships will last their entire career, all the way up into those upper echelon jobs that everyone's trying to audition for. So one other thing about the school that we're very proud of is, of course, our instructor pool. No one teaches for us with less than 15, 20 years experience in the industry, either as a live performer, as a voiceover artist, as a business person, as a teacher. So everyone who works for us really can bring the full force of their experience into the classroom and adjust on the fly to any type of student, any type of voice, any type of experience level. It's something we really do take pride in, the fact that we represent so many of the top talents in Vancouver and Toronto for instructors, and are able to bring their experience into the classroom. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're looking for more great content about voiceover and the voiceover industry, hit the subscribe button and you'll be alerted about all future videos.